Esteemed viewers, I invite you all on a journey, a flight, if you will, to what I affectionately term Golfer's Planet. To embark in this expedition, please ensure you have your boarding pass by subscribing to this channel. I encourage you all to savor every moment of this presentation, as each detail is interwoven with insight that reveal the true spirit of the game. Also, please mention in your comments which region you are watching this video from. I recall that enlightening encounter on my way to the recent golf tournament in my last episode, where I met a passionate soccer fan, a slim bearded gentleman who declared quite dismissively, golf is not a sport.
It is not a sport.
His often remarks stirred emotion within me, for golf is not merely an activity, it is a profound endeavor that mirrors our own quest for excellence. His statement prompted deep reflection in me. Honestly, I was so infuriated by his comment about the game I love. It was hard for me to voice my talk the way I normally do, and I'm sure you must have noticed it in my episode 1. Okay, we'll see how happily they come back from the soccer field. I have been having deep thoughts over past few days. I questioned myself over and over and finally realized too that golf is not really a sport. Because are there any other sports where approximately 170 people compete for one trophy? Are there any other sports where you hit a ball nearly 400 yards? Are there any other sports where you can lose nearly $200,000 by missing a 4-foot putt, or win an extra $200,000 by sinking a 30 to 40 feet putt? What is this putt? You will understand from my future videos. In each professional tournament, the golfers have to walk nearly 10 to 12 kilometers for 4 consecutive days. If you include the practice round and the pro-am, that makes it 6 days. Time-wise, a golfer walks for more than 5 hours each day. Even a marathon runner takes roughly 4.5 hours to complete their race. Golfers, most of the time, play in a scorching sun, sometime in rain or in cold winter. Are there any sports where 2 or more continents compete against each other? In golf, there are several competitions where the competing sides are continents. There is a competition called the Ryder Cup, held biannually, in which the Team USA competes against Team Europe. There's another biannual event called the President Cup, where Team USA compete against rest of the world, excluding Europe. There was also an event called Eurasia Cup, where the competing sides were Europe versus Asia. Though that this tournament was not held after the corona, but I heard it's going to start it soon. Most of the sports, the players use one single bat, racket or stick. The brand, type, size may vary according to the player's preference. In all sports, the same equipment used for both right-handed and the left-handed player. In contrast, a golfer uses 14 different sticks, which are called the golf club, or in short, they are called clubs. You have probably seen someone carrying a big long bag alongside the golfer. That person is called the caddy. They carry all those clubs in that bag. And it doesn't end there. The right-handed and the left-handed player have completely different types of clubs. This arrangement of the golf clubs can only be compared to a surgeon's knife or scissors used in an operation theater. Because a golfer needs a surgical precision in this game. One mistake and they are out and dry. All sports have a defined playing area, a stretch of land or water where they compete. But no two golf courses in this world are exactly alike in dimension or design. I have told you in my last video that there is about actually more than 40,000 golf courses in this world, and which each of them is different than others. In a professional tournament, even the hole locations on the green are changed every single day. That means players never the same hole, or rather they play the different hole in each day. But there is at least one good news: the size of the hole remains the constant, which is 4.25 inch in diameter and about 4 inch in depth, thanks to the game regulators for the consistency at least in one place. With the advancement of the golf equipment and improved physical fitness of the modern days professional golfers, the tournament organizers are also increasing the length of the golf course to make the game even more challenging for recent days professional golfers. No other sports respects its female participant as much as golf does. Here is one simple example. Golf was an Olympic event up to 1904. Then it was discontinued. However, after 112 years, golf was reintroduced at Rio Olympic in 2016. In Tokyo 2020, Olympic golf venue was selected in one golf club named Kasumigaseki Country Club, which is located at a place called Saitama, about 30 kilometers north of central Tokyo. One of the oldest and finest golf courses in Japan. In one stage, it was discovered that the Kasumigaseki Country Club have restriction of female members. Upon learning this, the International Golf Federation considered changing the venue of course without gender discrimination. Hosting Olympic golf was an extraordinary honor for the club, so Kasumigaseki didn't hesitate to break its 91 years old tradition and quickly began to accepting female members, ultimately securing the right to host the 2020 Olympic golf competition. These days, most sports have ladies team, but the history of the female participation in golf dates back almost the same time the men began playing in its modern form. I remember comment from the young soccer fan in yellow shirt who said, "It's an old man's game."
It is old man game.
I didn't know what to say, but yes, golf is an old man's game, no doubt about it, because golf is the only sporting event that an old man can proudly participate. But do you know from what age that old man can start playing golf? It's from the age of a curious toddler who swings a plastic club, and he or she can continue to play until their one leg is outside the grave. Even some believe they'll be able to play golf in heaven too. An amateur golfer who has the skill, ability and the willingness to turn into a professional, in short we call them pro, even in their teens, and they can continue to play as a professional until their late 50s or even early 60s, as long as they can qualify themselves in that professional event. The same is the case for the female professionals too. In most sports, the rules, scoring system and field dimension are same for both professional and amateurs. But golf is different. Many things varies based on gender, age and for amateur and professional status. A professional golfer must have the combined endurance of a marathon runner, the balance of a ballerina, the strength of a champion boxer, the concentration of mind like a saint in meditation, and the ability of aiming at the target like a sniper. The sniper has the privilege to using a telescope to aim at his target. For a kill by headshot, it has about 10-inch by 8-inch target, or a chest shot about 1 feet by 1.5 feet. But the golfers holding the club at 90 degrees from its body uses 3-inch by 2-inch club face, aim at 4.25-inch hole, sometimes even more than 200 yards away. The sniper doesn't have to care how much energy to apply to the bullet. The gunpowder takes care of that. But a golfer must apply just the right energy to the ball so that it doesn't fall short or roll past the hole. Remember the conspirator who tried to assassinate President Donald J. Trump during his election campaign? Thanks God, the job was given to a sniper, not a golfer. And thanks God again, he missed. So we still have one of the keenest and the most powerful amateur golfer alive amongst us. In most sports, the spectators sit in a gallery like a chicken in a cage of a poultry farm. But golfer, spectators can roam around nearly 10 to 12 kilometers of the golf course length, or even walk 10 to 12 kilometers alongside their favorite players outside the fairway. Of course, for those who prefer to sit, galleries are set up at different vantage points throughout the course. So if I say golf is not a sport but a game, would I be wrong? What's the difference between sports and the game? I don't know the textbook definition, but I can give an example. When something big is achieved, a breakthrough or success or victory or something truly innovative, we call it game changer, not a sports changer. With due respect to cricket, football, basketball, tennis, and all other sports and athletes, this is how the player look like. But the attire and the dignified poise of a professional golfer may evoke cinematic elegance, yet beneath their professional surface, like a relentless pursuit of profession, precision and endurance. Dear viewers, golfer never look down on other sporting discipline. This long talk of mine was prompted by the discriminatory remark of some fans of other sports.
It is very boring and slow game.
I could go on forever about how golf is different from any other sports, but that's not the focus of this channel. I know that nobody likes long videos. Frankly speaking, I hate them too. I invite you all to see golf not just as a contest of physical prowess, but as an extraordinary journey that reflects our deepest aspiration and resilience. So join me in this trip to the golfer's planet, and together let us experience the beauty, the complexity, and the transformative power of this extraordinary discipline. Starting from my next video, I'll begin to present graphically how to understand the professional golf tournament, which in short we call tours, as shown in the TV, and how to enjoy the undisclosed excitement of the game. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and see you again in my next episode. Please don't forget to subscribe this channel so that it reaches you with my next episode. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.